Hey, it's Shit Talk Reviews. Thanks for swinging by and hanging out with us, morons. My name is John, of course, with me.
Yeah, good, Derek. David.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're mixing it up, boys. We're at that time of the year. We're at the end of it, and we gotta, espouse what we think are the best records of the year.
Well, it's going to be tough for everybody to decide. There's going to be a dogfight going into the top three for sure.
Well, Dave will tell you that his authority matters over all, and it's because he's got a dark-nosed neighbor and a white beard, and that makes him the authority on everything.
I can't argue with that.
I'm sure all our lists are going to be very different, but I think there's some on here that you guys will agree on me. Whether my placement isn't where you might not want to see it, I think you're going to see a few bands that you also are going to put on your list. So we'll see.
I'm sure about that. Yeah. Well, and it's all subjective anyway. So
true.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Somebody married me, and look at my face.
All right, well, this is
God's ears, buddy.
This is good. So, all right, I'm going to give you.
What we're doing for those who the two people we've not talked, or the two people that we have talked to know what we're doing, but that's it. And that is, this week we're going to run through Dave's top 10. Next week will be Derek's top 10. Week after my top 10, and then we will battle it out for Ultimate Supremacy, best album of the year. So so cool. Let's get started, David.
Okay, so like I said, I'll start from number 10. I'll work my way up to my number 1. So coming in at number 10 for me, our good old friend One from the North.
So
yeah,
that's Mr. McKeenan.
Yeah, there's no way he wasn't going to be on my top 10. He just happened to be He happened to fell in the 10th spot after I went through, everybody I thought should be higher. So, but good for him. Went from the North. We love him. We interviewed him. He told us he was working on new stuff. So I'm sure next year we'll hear more from him.
I would expect. Yeah.
Well, and thankfully he, listens to our wisdom and is going to narrow his view, his musical viewpoint from this massive let's encompass Dance Party with Dave to Venom, and get it laser focused, because he's a talented dude, and love that that he's a fan of the podcast, but also is open to suggestions. So that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So my number 9, I originally wasn't even going to consider them. How can we not? Only because the album is so good. But I felt they deserved to be in the 9th spot, and I didn't want to take some of the light away from everybody else. But I put Metallica on there, 72 Seasons. I felt that it was a great album, Hetfield at its best, and it just deserved to be. If we're going to do this right, they deserve to be on the list. So I put them at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people that are out there, and after it's taken some time to germinate a little bit, this album is widely considered probably the best album since the Black Album. And for fans that don't like the Black Album, they're saying it's the best one since Injustice for All, and I think that those are all fair. I don't think it can touch the Black Album, but that I'm a fan of the album. I just don't like Enter Sandman. But it's a solid record. It's real. It's honest, and it's probably a good representation of who they are today. And
definitely one of their strongest outings in a long, long time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Great. Okay, coming in at number 8. If you would have told me this would be on my list a few months ago, I would have told you were crazy. Now that I know them more, they came in at my number 8. If I think I would have found them sooner when we started this podcast, believe it or not, it would have been higher. But Cavalera Conspiracy made my top 8. Yeah, no doubt.
So the Morbid Visions, Bestial Devastation recordings, you like those?
Love it. And then just seeing them live, really. Like I said, if you would have introduced this to me way in the beginning, they probably would have been in my 5.
Do you have a preference of one album over the other?
No, I don't. Honestly, I really don't. Yeah. Phenomenal band. I just I'm a fan. Derek got me hooked on them, so that's huge. But they made my 8, so, and they deserved it.
Nice.
Yeah. Number 7. This was tough because they could have been higher, but I love them. Is Unearth, the Wretched in the Ruins, man. They made my top 7.
Great record.
And all year I was kind of like leaning towards them because they were early out of the gate, and I thought, wow, they'll be higher. But that's just kind of where they ended up on my list. But it's still, top 7. So
great song, great record, rather.
And the record has been well received, and they're going to be touring on that for at least another year before going back in and doing the usual cycle. And Trevor's expanding as a vocalist, and he's got a reason for his voice, as we learned in the interview, and that's a great choice for top 10.
Yeah.
All right, good. Coming in at number 6. I wish I wish, well, I'm looking forward to more stuff from them, but going back to old school, because you don't see it anymore. Patriarchs in Black, My Veneration definitely came up on my number 6. It's just a great, great album. If you could just put genres aside and just stick an old school album on and really appreciate rock music, this is the one. And that's why they made it at number 6.
Mm-hmm. It's a solid record. I remember going through that many, many times a few months ago, and it's a great record front to back. It's just good music.
Good music. Yeah.
Well, and one of the things that, and again, we talk about this on a podcast that will be released soon about the media. What's amazing to me is this record hasn't gotten as much media as it deserves. And, I think that it should. And rock and roll, and I know that Dan doesn't like being called a rock band, but Led Zeppelin is a rock band. They covered it. Black Sabbath is more of the beginning of metal, but still grounded in more of a rock flavor to it. And this record certainly deserves to get a larger spotlight than it does. And hopefully in the months ahead, maybe it will get picked up a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, Dan and Johnny are getting some good press, and a bit anyway, and hopefully that will help push that album out front.
Yes, very nice. This next band, again, they came in a little later. Things might have changed on my list if I found them earlier, but man, after I heard them and I was putting this list together, they kept inching up and up. And it's Atreyu, The Moment You Find Your Flame. Just unbelievable. Yeah. Just a huge fan of it. Thank you for introducing it to me. I'm just a huge, huge fan. So they came in at my top 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Much bigger band. Yeah.
That was 5?
Yeah. That was my 5th. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm looking forward to find out where Barry fits in your top 5. And whether or not it's a greatest hits album or not.
This top 4 was tough for me, but coming in at number 4 here, The Ghost at the Gallows, Spirit Adrift, came in at 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, just a band that came on middle of of this, us doing the podcast, caught my attention. And if I'm listening to it after the podcast, like I am, and I'm just always listening to it, and it's got to be on my top 4.
Nice.
Great. Yeah.
There's a lot of talk, and we talked with Trevor Phipps from Unearth again about the passing of the baton, if you will, when the big guys, the Judas Priests and the Metallicas and Anthraxes and Megadeths and Overkills and Testaments, all of these guys, move on, they've got to be there. Spirit Adrift has to be one of those bands that's a baton, grabs the baton right along with, Lamb of God. And even Unearth. And so it's cool that they made that list, and I'm glad to see that they're so high. Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice. Number 3. This is I don't think
top 3.
Top 3. I don't know if Derek's gonna like this one too much. John, you might. Just for me, when I heard this for the first time, I never heard anything like this before. It just man, it's as original and to the core as you can get. But it's of Golden Verse with my boy Sermon. He's definitely fell in at the top 3. And he could have been way higher, but we had bands that or higher than him. I thought that felt that
Yeah.
they inched him out, but
Well, top
yeah,
three is pretty
pretty damn
high,
good.
given the
Yeah,
amount of music that
yeah.
came out over the year that we talked about and that we didn't talk about.
Just
To
one of those
make the
albums
top
where
10 is
just one of
impressive.
those albums where you hear it for the first time. It just blew my mind that one guy can make this kind of music. You know, just amazing. And we're going to get him on. In fact, I just sent him a message yesterday, so we're going to get reschedule and get him on. So that'll be pretty cool.
Ambiance music. I mean, it's a big sound, and it feels what's the word I'm looking for? Like it should be in a cathedral, you know, a little bit of some satanic, nuances in there, if you will. It's
Right.
very dark and big. So cool choice.
Yeah. All right. So number 2, and I know people are going to be, you're biased because they know him, not the case. Death Ray Vision comes in at number 2. No Mercy for the Electric Eyes. It almost could
Excellent
have,
record.
and I'm telling you, it was so close to being my number 1, but I just couldn't put him there. But again, I say it 1,000 times. Please, if you haven't heard these guys, go find them live, go buy a CD and figure it out, because Derek and John will tell you the same. This band is amazing,
Great
Yeah.
band. And the album is so fucking strong, right from front to back.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a great band. I don't know what else to say. They're just phenomenal, All right. My number 1.
That's it. What
Are you
are
guys
we
ready
left
for
with?
this?
I've got an idea, but we'll see.
All right. I was going to have you both write it down and then flash it after, but I'll take your word for it. Number 1, it was tough, and I'm telling you, it was tough. The top 3 were tough for me, but man, do I just love these guys. And they're my number 1. A Feast of Sorrow. Urne just gets number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that wasn't because we had him on and all that. I know what everybody's going to think. It's got nothing to do with that. The band is amazing. The music's amazing. This guy's lyrics are passionate and amazing, and you got to listen to them. Plain and simple,
On that front, I've been tweeting the Grammys almost weekly, saying you need to pay attention to this record. And I'm one of none. Nobody else that's doing that. But they should. This is when you look at the past Grammy winners and even new bands that have made it. Urne knocks their socks off, and they're musically, just execution wise, production wise, and that's a worthy choice for sure.
Yeah. God, they're
nice
so
choice.
Good, though. Thank you. Yeah, it was
a bit
tough,
unexpected.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I expected Wolfie somewhere on the list.
No, Wolfie he didn't deserve to be in my top 10. I was being honest with myself.
Have you listened to Wolfgang's album since we reviewed it?
Not really.
It didn't have lasting power.
No,
that's saying something.
Yeah. I was hot and heavy on it, but the more I listened to it, the more I was like, it's just not as good as the first one.
Well, I went through my end of the year spins, and whenever it's my turn, I let my spin total tell me what it is that I listen to. Now, bear in mind, Typo Negative, Metallica, and a few other bands are always in there.
They're always going to be on the list.
They're always. Sure. So I removed them. I went back. I looked at my spin count. For Metallica, for example, with 72 seasons, and so they're put in accordingly. So I let that dictate, because that kind of truth is in data, right? Where do you keep listening? I had 892 bands that I've or artists that I've listened to this year, and so obviously I went in and removed Slayer, because Slayer didn't put out anything, but I was honest about it. So it's fun. This is a fun time of year to do this. Human beings love categories and lists for some reason. Like, I don't know why we feel the need to do that, but we do.
Were some of these where you guys would have had some of your stuff a little bit, or?
I'll tell you that there are some that are definitely on the list, and I'll leave it at that.
That's cool. Yeah. I can't wait to hear you guys both do it.
Well, Derek's up next week, so we'll get his list, and
I got it right now. I'm ready to go whenever you guys are. I'm
Nice.
excited.
Well, maybe
to do
we'll
it.
just stack up these recordings and drip feed them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
All right. Well, fantastic. That's a great list, Dave. I'm
Thank
impressed.
you.
You got good
Appreciate
shit
it.
on there.
Thank you, man.
Can't
It
see
was
I'm
very
impressed.
good.
It's all good music.
It was fun doing it, honestly. And I went back, made sure I was precise, very particular about it, you know. But I'm happy with Urne. They deserve it. You
Well,
You're a
you're
very,
David.
very
we
anal
all-
man.
We all know you're nothing if not scientific.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
And Dave,
I don't know if
do
that's
know
good
that
or bad. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Dave, do
But
you
thank
know
you.
that there is no gravity in space and no air?
Wow, interesting.
Just seeing how
You can flash
scientific you are.
The more you know banner across the screen.
Yeah. Did you know that you actually will freeze from the outside and explode from the inside out in space?
That's true, I think.
Mhm.
I think that's true, actually.
Derek
Yeah.
is a font of strange
true.
and
Yeah.
interesting
Well,
That
knowledge.
you would
What-
explode. Yeah.
So the science experiment is for those who hate Dave. We'll shoot him into space and we'll see which thing happens first. Either the explosion from the inside out, or there's three things actually that could happen. Or he freezes, or a
Right.
xenomorph pops out of his
Mm.
chest and then laughs and does a dance.
That would be cool as hell.
Yeah. It's a little Spaceballs reference for you youngins out there.
All right. Well, sounds
All right,
good.
guys.
List 1 in the bag, and we'll be back next week for list number 2.
Yes, cannot wait.
Awesome. Cool. See ya.
Thank you.